All right, guess where we are?
Guess where we are?
We are sitting outside our fertility clinic on transfer day.
Transfer day!
So we have not done a video in a while, and we apologize for that. It's hard to coordinate both of our schedules to be able to sit down and do this.
Yeah.
But we wanted to give you a quick rundown of what's happened since our last video, which is shipping and contracts, and then to today.
Which is transfer day.
Which is transfer day. All right, so the embryos arrived at our clinic here in Frisco, so they're inside the building right now waiting for us.
It's so weird. They're so close.
And December 6th, and then everything was fine, shipping was fine, everything was fine, and then we actually got connected with the genetic family right after that. We actually did some super sleuthing and found each other on Facebook, and so we became Facebook friends.
Internet. It connects us all.
And then we actually FaceTime with them, and we're so excited to be connected to them.
Yeah.
And they're so cool and great, and we just are crazy about them. So that was really fun that we get to share this experience with them. And then we had Christmas, and that was good. And then January, so everything seemed for me to go really, really fast. Like once October, November, December hit, everything just flew by. And so that was really kind of a mercy. And then so January happened, and I started taking the medicine, the estrogen tablets. And then once I started taking the tablets, I called our clinic and scheduled a sonogram. So they do a sonogram. So the estrogen tablets, I think, are supposed to thicken your lining so that you prepare a good home for the embryos. And then so they do a sonogram to check the lining and make sure everything's okay. And that was actually kind of a traumatic day. Not to for one thing, I didn't think about it and scheduled the appointment super early in the morning. So it was 7:30 appointment, and we live an hour and 15 minutes away. So we left at 6 o'clock, and neither one of us are morning people. And so I was totally woke up on the wrong side of the bed, and I guess I was kind of stressed. And then there were just kind of
There's just some stuff we didn't know about it.
Yeah, it's kind of a surprise. I went in with some expectations, thinking, oh, they checked the lining, and then it's no big deal. And then they tell us either everything looks great, your transfer is this day, or they say, oh, we'll let's keep taking the medicine or change this, and then we'll come back in a few days and we'll check you again. So I expected to leave knowing something was going to happen. And I didn't know that I had to do a blood test to detect progesterone to see where I was in ovulation cycle and whatever. And so they basically said, all right, so here's your projected transfer day, but we'll do this blood test and then we'll call you later. So I went home and I was crying and sad, and
yeah, we thought we were going to celebrate, but it wasn't even
already irritable. And then Tim was annoying to me, and
#married.
Yeah, right. And so, it ended up being fine. So we were exhausted. We got home, we were both exhausted, so we just went back to bed and just slept for a while, and then it was okay. So then Tim went to work, and then I waited for the phone call, and they're like, oh yeah, everything looks great. Continue with the directions that I gave you at your appointment today. So earlier that week, so last Tuesday, so today is Thursday the 25th, January 25th. So a week from Tuesday, my progesterone injections arrived. And because you order those from a pharmacy, not Walgreens or Walmart, an actual company, and then they mail them to you, and they have to get a signature and all this stuff. So that arrived, and then they said, okay, go ahead and start taking your progesterone injections tomorrow, which was last Friday. And I was pretty cool about it. Shots don't really bother me that much, but then everything I'd heard on the internet and things that people had said were oh my gosh, they hurt so much, this huge needle, make sure that you make the injection last several minutes, because otherwise it's really painful. Make sure that you do a heating pad, and just kind of I built it up in my mind as it was gonna be this huge, awful, painful thing. And then we got the stuff, and the oil wasn't nearly as thick as I thought it was going to be. And so then I was like, well, maybe it's not that big of a deal. So the first time we were doing the injections, I was like, yeah, this is going to be great. Woohoo! And then I turned around, and Tim is like loading the syringe.
It's a big needle. It is a long needle, like
I don't
that.
think I can do this. I don't know. I don't know if I can do this. So then...
And then I said basically the same thing, because I never imagined injecting...
Well, so it's low back injections, like muscle right above your hip. And so I'm like laying down on the bed so he can like get to my hip and or my low back. And I'm like, Tim, I don't think I can do this. I'm about to cry. Like I literally was like starting to like panic.
It was a panic, yeah.
And I could tell he leaned forward to give me the injection, and then I could tell that he leaned back and he said, I don't think I can do this.
I don't know if I can do this.
And I turned around and was like, you have to do this. So then we got through it, and it was like no big deal at all. It like barely hurt at all. It was like if I had sharp fingernails and I just pinched the skin. I mean, it feels like you're getting a shot, but it was like not any worse than that.
Yeah.
So for a few days I was like, oh, this is like no big deal. So then
it gets better.
So the weird thing is though, so I had been heating up, like holding the vial for several minutes before, so that it kind of heats up, and then had a heating pad on my back for a few minutes before we drew in the injections. So then I start exercising. So yesterday I'm exercising, like I'm going to run, I'm walking, it's like no big deal, and then my dog and I start running, and I could feel the injection sites on like both sides of my back, like felt like I was being injected at that moment. So I'm sure at this point there's been what, like 6 shots, like 3 on each side. So like the muscles are like breaking down right there, like they have little tiny holes in them, and so like you can feel it. So it's like it's not unbearable, it's uncomfortable, it feels like you're being pinched, but it's not like I'm gonna die. But so 2 nights ago we were like, oh, this is like not a big deal, I guess I probably don't need to do the heating pad before we do this.
Bad decision. It wasn't my idea.
Big mistake.
It was her idea to do
Always do the heating pad. It hurt really badly. It really did. It hurt, and then it hurt afterwards, and so I was like, whatever. So if you're gonna do this, my recommendation is definitely hold the oil or hold the serum in your hands, or like put it close to your body, like between your legs or something, and let it warm up, and then definitely do a heating pad.
Yeah.
And then after that, I kind of sit on the heating pad too. Some people said like knead the area, but that was like really kind of sensitive. First it wasn't necessary, and then when the day that it actually did hurt, it hurt for Tim to touch it like right afterwards. So, but yeah, I mean, it's like not that big of a deal. So injections are fine so far. And then here we are. I think that was it.
Here we are, yeah.
Here we are on transfer day. So I've been trying to eat well. Like, I'm not doing anything super crazy diet-wise, but like just trying to eat lots of eggs and lots of greens and chicken and turkey and like berries and yeah, just kind of coconut oil and avocados and just stuff
not
like
me.
that.
Mostly her.
Yeah, definitely not Tim. But yeah, so I think that's it. So here we are. So we'll do another video.
Yeah, we'll
later.
add on to this a little later after transfer.
We're here early, so yeah, so we're sitting in the car doing this. So yeah, all right, well, we'll let you know.
Bye.
Bye.